Hello, welcome to the course of requirement management. It is a 3 credit course, and that means we need to complete 45 sessions of 1 hour. That is, we need to have 45 hours of training. In this first session, we will discuss about basic concepts of requirement management. And this is the first clip of session 1. There will be multiple clips in one session. In this clip, we will discuss about what exactly is the meaning of the requirement. What is the meaning of requirement? So to start with the course and to start with this clip, just consider a situation where we have two persons, Maria, who is the HR person, who is from HR of some organization, and there is one another person, Phil, Mr. Phil. Mr. Phil have developed few systems and IT solutions for that organizations in which Maria is working in HR. So one fine day, Maria calls Phil and she says, "Hello Phil, this is Maria in Human Resource and we are having a problem with the personal system which you have programmed for us. An employee just changed her name to Sparkle Starlight and we can't get the system to accept her the name change. So can you help in this?" So this is the question which has been asked by Maria to Phil about some employee which that employee has changed her name to some new name. Now in response, what Phil is saying is she getting married to some guy with name Starlight? Because that is the only possibility what Phil understands when the name can change. If some lady is getting married, then the name will change. So that is what his assumption is. So Maria says, no, she did not get married, but she has just changed her name. And that's the problem. It looks like we can change the name only if someone's the marital status is changed. So because that is how the system has been built by Mr. Phil. Now, the problem with Phil is he has never thought of this situation. So he says, well, I never thought someone might just change the name. I don't remember you telling me about this possibility when we talked about the system. So this hasn't been mentioned as one of the requirements from the organizations, from the HR department, from the Maria. That is what Mr. Phil is saying. So Maria says, I assumed you knew that people could legally change their name anytime, whenever they want to. And we have to strengthen this out by Friday or Sparkle won't be able to cash her paycheck. So can you fix this bug before Friday? Now this comes as a new requirement. If you look at the situation, this comes as a new requirement, a change in the existing system for Mr. Phil. So from Mr. Phil's perspective or from the developer's perspective, he's saying it is not a bug. It is not a problem in the system. It is not a bug. I never knew you needed this capability. I'm busy on the new performance evaluation system and I can probably fix it by the end of this month, but not by Friday. Sorry about that. Next time, tell me the things or tell me all the details, these kind of things earlier, and please write them down. That is what Mr. Phil is saying, because he has not received this specific situation or this specific thing as a requirement initially from Maria or from the organization. So for developer, this is not a bug. This was not mentioned, so this is not part of the system. And because the developer is now busy with some other projects, this change cannot be handled immediately. That is what Mr. Phil is telling to Maria. So Maria is saying, what am I supposed to tell Sparkle? She will be upset if she can't cash her check, because if the name is not proper in the system, you will not get paid against that name. So the paycheck will not be there for that person, Mrs. Sparkle. So that is a problem for HR, because that will go as a kind of problem for HR. Maybe that Mrs. Sparkle may raise a ticket for HR, that HR is not paying me the money. So that is the problem. Now Phil says, Maria, this is not my fault. If you would have told me this in the first place, that you had to be able to change someone's name at any time, this would not have happened. So you can't blame me for not reading your mind, because this is what something is was there in Maria's mind. This was not documented. This was not part of the requirements. That is what Mr. Field is telling Maria. So there comes the important thing, or there comes the important concept of requirements. So if you have ever been on the customer side or of a conversation like this, you know how frustrating it is when a software system doesn't let you perform some essential task. So you hate to be at the mercy of a developer who might get to you, in case of critical change request, and if you are not able to complete those changes in time. On the other hand, developers are frustrated to learn about functionality that a user expected only after they have implemented the system. So once you implement the system, and if then some request comes, that will be treated as a change. That is not a requirement. It is also annoying that for a developer to have his current project interrupted by a request to modify a system that does precisely what he was told it should do in the first place. Many problems in the software or the software world arise from shortcomings in the ways that people learn about the requirements or document all those requirements agreed upon and modify the product's requirements. As with Phil and Maria, what has happened? Common problem areas are informal information gathering, or it can be implied functionality, miscommunicated assumptions, poorly specified requirements, and a causal change process. Various studies suggest that errors introduced during requirements activities account for 40 to 50% of all the defects which are found in the software product. So inadequate user input and shortcomings in specifying and managing customer requirements are major contributors to the unsuccessful projects. Despite this evidence, many organizations still practice ineffective requirements method. Actually, nowhere more than in the requirements do the interest of all stakeholders in the project intersects. So these stakeholders include, when I say stakeholders of a project, they include different types of customers, different types of users, users from the customer side, system users, then business analysts, developers, testers, and many others. All of these are stakeholders. Handled well, this intersection can lead to delighted customer and fulfilled developers. Handled poorly, it is the source of misunderstanding and friction that undermine the product's quality and business values. Because requirements are the foundation for both the software development and the project management activities, all stakeholders should commit to applying requirement practices that are known to yield superior quality products. But developing and managing requirements is a very hard task. It is not that simple. There are no simple shortcuts, or there are no simple ways or magic solutions for this. On the plus side, so many organizations struggle with the same problems that you can look for techniques in common that apply to many different situations. So it is very important to understand some key terms used in the software requirements domain itself. So distinguish product requirements from project requirements. Both are different. Product requirements are different and project requirements are different. And distinguish requirements development from requirements management. So all these things we'll be discussing in this course one by one, but today we are going to discuss some basic things only. So when a group of people begin discussing requirements, they often start with a terminology problem. Different observers might describe a single statement as being a user requirement, or a software requirement, or a business requirement, or a functional requirement, or a system requirement, or a product requirement, or a project requirement, or it can be a user story, it can be a feature, it can be a constraint. There are a lot of terminologies for a single statement. What that statement should be considered as, there are a lot of meanings which are attached to it. The names they use for various requirements deliverables are also different. They also vary. a customer's definition on requirements might sound like a high level product concept to the developer, because customer is not aware of all the technical language. The developer's notion of requirements might sound like a detailed user interface designed to the user, because developer will talk in technical language and that will not be understood by the customer. This diversity of understanding leads to confusion and frustration. There are multiple definitions for requirements. If you go for definitions, one can define it as anything that drives design choices. That is the simplest form of definition for requirement, anything that drives design choices. Or one can define it as a property that a product must have to provide value to a stakeholder. That is a requirement. The general or well accepted definition is requirements are a specification of what should be implemented. They are descriptions of how the system should behave or of a system property or attribute. They may be a constraint on the development process of the system also. So this is a well accepted definition. Even if you go to Google, you will find this as a definition of requirement. But all these definitions tell you one thing. Don't assume that all your project stakeholders share a common notion, a common meaning about what requirements are. Everybody has a different meaning, different perspective about the requirements. And we are going to study all those things and then how to document finally the requirements so that it will be understood by all the stakeholders. That is what we are going to learn in this course. So this is the end of session 1, clip 1, where we have discussed what is the meaning of requirement and what is the importance of requirements.